Hey everybody, welcome to the Crown Peach Show. I'm your host Chris, and with me today I have filmmaker, photographer, Alexander Seyum.
That's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do.
I'm sitting here with a man of many, many talents, Alexander Seyum. A few weeks ago, I got to meet his brothers. Well, I'd met your brothers before, but I got to have them here in studio, and they were a lot of fun. No pressure. No, you're already so much fun. I'm already sweating off camera. We're laughing so much in here. But I want to get to know you. I met your brothers. I think they were interviewing Jeff Garcia or Meloman Ace, and I met them. Super sweet guys. Very humble and down to earth, even though you guys are so freaking talented. I mean, gosh, do you guys have a sister?
No sisters.
Do you want one?
We got room.
As long as you can share those talents, like just let me rub out, Yeah. Let's talk about you though, Alex. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, put a face to a DM, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, filmmaker. Mm-hmm. What else?
Photographer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes superhero.
Okay, no. That's right.
No, filmmaker. So I've been in the film industry for 12 years now.
Wow.
So I've been writing, producing, and directing for a long time. Short films. Mm-hmm. I just came off a larger film that I did. That's a mid-length film. So there's short films, mid-length films, and then feature films. Mm-hmm. So I did one that's a mid-length film.
And can you explain that to the audience? Like, how long is a short film?
A short film could be either a minute.
Really?
Yeah, or it could be 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
Okay.
But usually within the film festival world, mm-hmm. a short film is between, it could be 1 to 30 minutes, 1 to 44 minutes.
Okay.
Anything over 45 minutes is considered mid-length.
Mid-length, okay. Mm-hmm. So you just wrapped on a mid-length film. Yes. Is it your first mid-length film?
Yes.
How exciting. Mm-hmm. Exciting, I say, because I know it's already been nominated for awards, correct?
Nominated. We won a few awards already.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It's an accomplishment, mm-hmm. because this film alone, so the film is called The Sun Rises, and I've been working on this film for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. I came up with the idea back in 2016, mm-hmm. came up with the story. From the story, developed it into a script, and I was producing it for so long, trying to get it off the ground. Mm-hmm. But it took me 6 years of working on it, shooting it, editing it, getting it out to the world. Yeah. So we finished it in 2022. Why
do you think it took so long from conception to now?
Well, shooting a film is expensive. Mm-hmm. Finances. I had to raise the money. I had to put in money myself. Had to, build a team.
Yeah.
To get it done. I had to kind of, rally the community to back me up. Mm-hmm. Because when I did a fundraiser for it, we raised close to $25,000 through the community.
Nice.
Small donations. And I had a couple of backers, good mm-hmm. friends of mine back me on the financial part, but just raising the funds and fine-tuning the story and going through COVID and all this mm-hmm. stuff, kind of things got pushed back.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the story? Not too much though, because we want our viewers to go look for it and dig for it and see for themselves.
So pretty much, growing up, I was born in LA, but I grew up in the IE, I grew up in Rialto, and the story goes back many, many years because it wasn't something that just came to me overnight. It was a bunch of things that happened to me, mm-hmm. and then the story, came to me. So when I was 13 years old, I was pulled over by Rialto PD, motorcycle cop. I was on summer break. I was riding my bike to my friend's house. Mm-hmm. I was a kid. I was 13 years old, and I get pulled over by a motorcycle cop and pulls me over at gunpoint. Get my hands in the air. He handcuffs me. He slams me on the ground. And he said I fit the description of somebody he was looking for.
And you were 13.
I was 13 years old. And a woman pulled up in her vehicle to identify me as the person that she reported. Mm-hmm. That woman in the car was actually my principal from the elementary school I used to go to.
Wow.
And she saw me and she told the police officer, she said, I didn't report him. I know him. I reported a grown man with a gun by our school. And so it was just... Everything just happened like that, where it was just by coincidence. Mm-hmm. So he let me go, but that was my first experience with a police officer.
Imagine if it wasn't her in the back of that car.
Yeah, it wasn't her. I mean, it was her.
Yeah,
but it wasn't her. It could have been some lady saying, "Oh yeah, that's the guy who did it."
And who knows where the trajectory of your life would have went from that moment on.
Exactly. So that was burned into my life experience. You know? So then fast forward, getting pulled over by other police officers, Vegas, wherever, just, just being harassed, being Latino in Southern California, or just in this country alone, being harassed and targeted. So I had all these experiences under my belt. So the last experience that kind of pushed me to write this story was I was in Hollywood. I was going to a church called Mosaic on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was driving down Hollywood Boulevard, going back to South LA, and I was followed by LAPD squad car, 2 cops. They pulled me over at Hollywood Boulevard, lights on, get out with your hands in the air.
Yeah.
I did all that. They put my hands behind my back. I'm all tattered up.
You complied, yeah.
I complied, but they assumed that I was a gang member. They thought I was cruising up and down the boulevard, right? They said the lights on the back of my car, my license plates. They made up all these things about me, ran my name, let me go. So I was frustrated. I was super angry. I was super upset. And I'm driving home, and I thought to myself, I said, what if Jesus Christ was pulled over? That popped in my head. And then from that's when I wrote the story of The Sun Rises.
Wow.
So I wrote it as a short story, and then I didn't know what to do with it. I just sat on it. So I was like, okay, I have a story here, but I don't know. It's an idea based on all these experiences that I had. And so I sat on it for a while. And then I was kind of like drawing little concepts of like the idea of like little scenes.
What it would look like,
What it would look like, And I don't know, I just started talking to my friends about it. Like, hey, I got this idea. Like, what do you guys think? And people were like, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, now I want to make a movie, but I have no money. I have nothing, backing me up.
Yeah.
So that's why it took me so long to like get it off the ground. So what I did was I started drawing the concept of what I wanted. I hired a professional artist. His name is Brian Bush. Met him online. We met up, and he drew like the original concepts, like professional concepts of my idea. So I had these fake movie posters that I made, and I would promote these posters online.
I love it. You're like, I have fake movie posters.
I have fake movie posters.
You fake it till you make it sometimes.
Well, I mean, I was a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But the posters were fake. It was the film wasn't real yet.
Yeah.
But these were my concepts, and I said, hey, like to my Facebook community, Instagram community.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this idea. Let's check it out. I'm gonna make a movie, and people were like behind it. And
awesome.
So then I started developing the script. I went through audition process with different actors, and it was just about raising the funds. So I had to figure out a way. How am I going to do this? Bringing on different teammates to help me raise funds. We did a fundraiser. COVID hit. Right, pushed me back. I had some producers come on on my team, but then they fell off. So I had to like pick up the ball and like push things on my own. But COVID kind of pushed things back almost a year. So then we decided, we're going to shoot summer 2021, even though COVID was still around.
Yeah. So
we did the fundraiser online. Right, we raised almost $25,000 online, and we shot the film. It was a 7-day shoot. We shot it. Took us a year of editing. And then I put it out into the film festivals in late 2022. So we had a premiere in Atlanta, near Atlanta, Georgia, in a city called Rome. And we premiered out there. So since November 2022, I've been pushing the film out to the film festivals. And now, actually tomorrow, I'm going to announce my 13th film festival. But we've been shown at 13 festivals so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What made you premiere it in Atlanta?
Well, so for the filmmakers out there, when you submit to film festivals, you don't pick and choose where you want to go, because let's say you submit to Sundance, you're not going to get in Sundance unless they select your film.
Yeah.
Tribeca, these big film festivals from around the world, and in the U.S. So if you submit your film to a film festival, there's no guarantee you're going to get in.
Okay.
The judges have to watch your film, select your film, and then your official selection, and then they show your film at a festival.
Wow.
But let's say a festival gets 1,000, films that come in. Out of that 1,000, they're only going to select 20 to 30.
Yeah, they can't pick everybody.
Exactly. So we were selected, and so that's why it's screened in Georgia.
That's awesome. So you can say it here because this won't air until later. But where is the next?
So our 13th festival, we were official selection, and we were nominated for an award at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow. Congratulations. Let's talk about all the nominations this film has gotten and all the awards it's gotten. Take me from the very first nomination.
Okay. So the first nomination was, I would say, in Rome, Georgia. So it's called the Rome International Film Festival. And we won Audience Award, and then we won Best Cinematography for our film. So that was the first one. And then the second nomination we got was at the Philadelphia Latino Film Festival, which we were nominated for an award. It just passed. I don't think we won because I haven't heard anything back.
Oh, okay.
But we were nominated.
But nomination means, you know, that's a lot. That's like already winning.
Yeah, so we were nominated for that one. And then we won Best Actor. So my lead actor in the film, his name is Eric Gavica, very talented individual. He won Best Actor at the Pasadena Film Festival.
Nice.
A few months ago. And then we just won, again, he won Best Actor at the Michoud Film Festival in downtown LA.
Awesome.
So
how does that feel, Alex?
It feels great. You know, I mean, like for him as an artist, as an actor, to win Best Actor at these film festivals, it says a lot. You know? And for me, I want my crew, my talent, I want them to succeed. Because if they succeed, I succeed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a reflection on you, that you are a storyteller, that you wrote something so good, that they were able to execute and bring to life, you know, bring the character to life that you won an award. As
a director, you know, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of everybody on the squad, you know, like everybody, the cast, the crew, everybody who participated in this. It was hard. It wasn't easy. It was a very tough shoot. 7 days.
What was the hardest part about it?
Everything was hard about it.
Everything. I love your honesty. You're like, everything.
Every single element of making a film, writing it, producing it, raising the money, finding the locations, getting the permits, getting the equipment, driving to the location, waking up early, working, being on set 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
Every single part of it was very, very challenging.
Very challenging, you know? But worth it though, right?
It's worth it, you know, but there's those days, there's those dark moments where, you know, you're excited you did it. And then when you get into the editing room, then you start watching it, you're like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And then you see, oh, I love this, I love this, I love this.
It's won so many awards. I can't wait to see it. I've only seen little tidbits of it, you know, on social media. Where is there anywhere the audience can see it now?
The audience can go to film festivals and watch it.
I love it. Bring your ass out to film festivals.
I get hit up all the time, you know, and I'm so happy and grateful that people do want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I tell them, just come out to the festivals and support.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way for you guys to be in the seats, get those seats filled up. We get to like hang out afterwards, network and mingle.
Yeah.
It's the best place to be, you know.
Okay, when's the next one?
The next one will be in Atlanta for the Morehouse Human Rights Film Festival. And then locally, September 23rd will be at the AMC in Burbank for the Burbank International Film Festival. Okay.
Well, here on the Crown Peach Show, I'm letting you know now, I can't fly my butt over there.
Well, you can.
But, I mean, I can. Well, let me talk to the team and see if we can pull it off. When's the date for that one?
That one, so the Morehouse College, the Morehouse Human Rights Film Festival and the Burbank International land on the same weekend.
No way.
Yeah, September 23rd.
Okay.
So, I might have to fly out for Atlanta, and then my LA people, Southern California show up to the Burbank International.
Okay, well, I say that I'll be in charge of that troop. Okay, so you can fly your butt over there, and we'll just say that we'll rally the troops, and we are going September 23rd to the film festival in Burbank to watch the sunrises. Okay. Awesome. How did that name come to be?
So I wrote the story first of the sunrises, and I don't want to give away the ending, but it's a retelling of the Jesus story. So it's a modern day, my take on a Latino martyr in Los Angeles. He is not the Christ in the film, but he takes on the same struggle and pain and course of from life to death to resurrection. So in my story, you know, Manny Guzman is his character's name, and he's a construction worker working in LA, has a family, you know, but he's dealing with, you know, the loss of his father. He's dealing with immigration. He's dealing with, you know, police officers. He's dealing with stereotypes. And I wrote the story of my pain and I put it onto the pages. And a lot of the Latinos and Black community have dealt with being crucified in crucifixion. So I rewrote this story to tell that story, like Black Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter. I tell that story in the film The Sun Rises. And The ending of the film is the sun rises. S-O-N.
Yeah, it's spelled S-O-N, not S-U-N, like the sun.
Yeah, so it's the sun.
Yeah, which caught my attention. I was like,
And Manny is the sun in the film.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we are going to take a quick break. And during this break, you are going to get to see a trailer of The Sun Rises and flyers with the dates on where and when you can see it. We'll be right back.
This was our father's cross necklace.
This place, this world, doesn't come with any directions. And to make things even more fucked up, the people that everybody says are supposed to be good and to protect you, well, they don't.
Look at me. Ma. You ain't gonna lose me, Ma.
You know, the Bible says that we're supposed to be God's sheep. But how can that be true? God doesn't want us to be sheep. He wants us to take hits, day in and day out. To rise up again and again, just the way he did.
That's where I feel it down deep. You know what I mean, it's real deep. And I only want to share with y'all like a bird of a bear for y'all.
We're back from the break. I hope you guys enjoyed that preview. And if you want to see the whole thing, come with me to Burbank on September 23rd. We'll rent a party bus or something. We'll make it a day of it. Yeah. And then you have to fly in. You have to take like a red eye, like jump back.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we took the break, you mentioned something about Black Lives Matter and Brown Lives Matter. You are two different races, correct? Can you tell the audience what you are?
I am Afro-Latino. My mother is from El Salvador, and my dad is from East Africa, from Eritrea and Ethiopia.
Awesome. I want to know how they met.
The story, my dad only told me the story once on how they met. So my parents are divorced, but my dad came to LA, South LA in the 1970s, and my mother came from El Salvador in the 1970s, and my dad was renting a room in West LA. And actually, so funny story, I don't know if you've seen the film Higher Learnings from John Singleton.
A long time ago, yes. I know.
So in the film, there is a house that, it's a house party going on in the film. In that film, my dad's room was upstairs.
No way.
Yeah, so when I was 15 years old, he took me to go visit that house. And he showed me, he goes, this is where they made that movie. It's popular. He's like, that was my bedroom right up there in that window.
Wow.
So my dad was staying there, back in the late 70s. And the way he told the story was he was in his room, the window was open, and then he heard two ladies, he heard voices outside. Yeah. Two ladies. So he looks outside the window and there's a car broken down in front of his house, and there's two ladies, they don't know what to do. They got the hood up. So he goes outside to go help them, and it was my mom and her twin sister, my tia. Aww. So he went to go help them, and then after he helped them with their car, my tia elbowed my dad, and she was like, "Hey, my sister likes you." Aww. And so that's how they met.
How sweet.
Yeah. That's
awesome. So they met here in LA, over a broken car.
Over a broken car.
That's sweet. Okay, and so they have you three boys.
Yes.
Where do you fall in the lineup of?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Yes. You're the baby.
I'm the youngest.
So do you think you were raised differently than your brothers being the baby?
I don't know. I mean, I had a very difficult childhood. Very difficult, and it wasn't, I dealt with a lot of things that I shouldn't have to deal as a kid,
Do you think that incident that happened when you were 13 kind of just stunted your childhood or?
No, it kind of just pushed me into growing up in the hood more because, at that time, being in junior high, that's when things start popping off, little cliques and things like that. Yeah. And my friends, I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, even though I'm Salvadoran and East African, all the homies I grew up were Mexican.
Yeah. So, well, you look Mexican.
I grew up in, in Southern California. And so a lot of my friends were dealing with, issues at home. Yeah. Issues in the neighborhood, and we all were dealing with the same thing. You know what I mean? So when I came, with my experiences and my stories, my friends were dealing with the same thing. Oh, I went through that last week. I went through this. Yeah. People started smoking weed at the time, drinking at that time. And it was just part of growing up in the hood. Yeah.
So you gravitated more towards people that were going through the same thing you were going through.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so that happens at 13. You said that during our break we were talking about day jobs and stuff. You were in welding before.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in that life?
So pretty much when I was in my early 20s, I went to welding school for a bit in Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is a very good job.
very good job.
Yeah.
So I became a welder, certified welder, and then I joined. So I became a certified welder first, and then I joined the ironworkers. So I was working with the ironworkers, and so I was young.
That's a dangerous job too.
Dangerous job. So I was. Again, like coming from my background, when I got into the ironworkers, those guys are like OGs. Like these dudes are OGs, and I was working with bikers and gangsters, and so I was a young kid. I was 22, 23.
Yeah.
So I'm traveling to Vegas with these older guys. I'm going to San Diego, partying with them after work. So the ironworker life isn't just
they work hard and they play hard.
Exactly. So
they make good money too.
Yeah. So I was caught up in that crowd, for a couple of years, and then I joined the Boilermakers, Local 92 Boilermakers. And it's a union also too. So I started off, working with those guys. But same thing too, the lifestyle of a construction worker, it's like drink hard and work hard and
play hard. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So I was in that world for 5 years.
Of they're their own gang in themselves.
It's crazy. It's just a mixture of all these different crazy people, And, the thing about it too is kind of you grow up in the neighborhoods, but you deal with a lot of trauma. There's a lot of trauma that comes with that,
Yeah.
And, you work with a lot of broken people, people that want to drink away their problems, they want to smoke away their problems, you know what I mean?
They haven't found an outlet.
There's no outlet.
Positive outlet.
And you're surrounded with people who are just like you.
Yeah.
And, you absorb what they're doing and you become like them. And so I became like them. I was one of them. And, at that time we were staying in Fontana. From Rialto, we went to San Bernardino, and then from San Bernardino went to Fontana. And then 2008, the recession hit, right? Back in those days.
Yes, I remember that. Everyone lost all their shit.
everyone lost all their shit. Housing market, everything crashed. Construction went out of business.
Yeah.
My brothers, one of them was working at Wells Fargo at that time. I was doing construction. Me and my older brother, Danny, exposure photography. I got him in the union, so we're both union workers at that time. We went back to zero. So my mother and father were divorced, and my mom wanted to come back to LA, South LA. And so we decided to move back to South Central, right?
Yeah.
So then 2008, 2009, we moved back to South Central, and the game plan was to switch up careers. Hey, I've been doing construction for 5 years. Yeah. My brother was doing his thing, and then
who got into photography first out of all three of you guys?
So I'll get to that. Okay. So we moved from the IE back to LA. So we moved to South Central, and I decided to go to film school. My brother decided to go to recording school in LA. I decided to go to film school, and so signed up. Right, I didn't even know I was going to get in, but I got in, got accepted, went to the LA Film School. So I went to school for writing, producing, directing, filmmaker, being an all well-rounded filmmaker. Yeah. And along the way, on that path, everyone at the school that I went to had a camera. Everyone had a camera. I didn't have a camera, so I needed to buy a camera. I wanted to stay up on my game. Yeah. So I bought a photography camera, bought a Nikon at that time. And when I bought the Nikon, I was working on student films at the school. So then I started doing behind the scenes for student films. Yeah. And then I started developing my skills as a photographer. And then Exposure, my older brother, saw me with a camera. He went and got a camera. He started doing his thing, but he was doing clubs. He was doing clubs and car shoots and all that stuff. So we were both helping each other grow. Yeah. And I was focusing on more stills for film and music videos and directing projects. I was directing a lot of music videos at that time, short films at that time. Yeah, so we kind of developed at the same time.
At the same time, but he has a camera, I want a camera.
Yeah, so my focus was filmmaking and photography. He ran with the photography. So it was, I believe, 2009, 2010, that's when we actually got into photography. Yeah. And then my other brother, Atomic, he was, always been in music. So he did that road,
That's awesome. Your photography as well has won awards. And I've seen that your most recent award was the Indigenous Woman. Yeah. Tell me the backstory of that picture, because it's so thought-provoking, the picture. is it LA Indigenous Woman? Is that what it's called? Or
Yeah, it was a take on LA Woman, but I put LA Indigenous Woman.
Let me see. I wrote it down. Yes. Indigenous LA Woman.
Mm-hmm. It was a take on the Doors song, LA Woman.
LA Woman, yeah.
So that photo, I took that it was a biker show at...
Really?
It was a biker show, and they're doing the Aztec dancers. And so I was, kind of front row waiting for one of the dancers to come by.
Yeah.
And then I just snapped that photo of her.
Yeah. And it won an award. That's awesome. So clearly, you took the right path getting out of the ironwork and the union.
It was difficult because I'm leaving a great paying career.
Insurance, retirement plan, right? A brotherhood.
And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being an ironworker. I enjoyed being a welder. I enjoyed, it was a crazy lifestyle. It was very dangerous. I'm working in very crazy heights.
Yeah.
But I've always been an artist. And in my gut, the right decision was the hard decision.
How did you know? How did you know that you've always been an artist?
No, I've always been an artist. I know how to draw. I know how to paint. I know how to write. So I've just always been an artist.
Yeah. I love that because a lot of times, we know we are, but we just can't break free from that mold that we put around ourselves.
I was just tired of not pursuing what I really wanted to do. I kind of did the day job thing, my father, hey, you get a 9-to-5 job, make sure you get insurance. Yeah, but I'm more of a risk taker. I say, I want to do this. There's other professional artists out there. There's professional, graphic designers. There's professional musicians. There's all these professional people out there. If they can do it, I can do it. I didn't know what to do because nobody in my family bloodline does this. So I had to be like a trailblazer and say, okay, I got to do this, and this is what I want.
What obstacles have you hit, though, being the trailblazer of your family?
Going broke. Going from getting paid.
You're preaching to the choir, no.
Going from being a welder making $35 an hour, going down to making $10 an hour as a part-time driver going in film school, and then kind of climbing up that ladder all over again. You know what I mean? And retraining yourself. Learning computer programs, learning Photoshop, learning editing, learning how to film, learning photography, learning all this stuff. There's a lot of challenges in that. People think oh, you work in Hollywood, you're making all this money. There's people from Russia, China, Australia, Europe flying to LA every single day trying to make it in the industry.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of competition.
There's thousands of people out there. And then you got to climb your way up that little ladder and make a name for yourself. Yeah.
And stand out.
For example, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but when I went to the LA Film School, as a filmmaker, there's the LA Film School, New York Film Academy, USC, UCLA, AFI. There's 20 different film schools in LA. And every single month, they graduate new students.
Wow.
So every single month, you got thousands of new students, hungry filmmakers out there.
Wow.
And Fox Studios is only hiring one person for this position. They got 1,000 applicants for that one job, but that's all over the place. So it's you got to network, you got to hustle, you got to make your next project, you got to write it, produce it, direct it, do it on your own, fund it yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's the hard lesson that I had to learn. Thinking, okay, when I get out of school, I'm going to have a job, I have a degree. Somebody's going to hire me. It doesn't work that way. Everybody has a degree. Yeah.
What obstacles have you hit given the way you look? We talked about this off camera a little bit, and I told you my story. Yeah. Because you have all the knowledge, you have the artistic drive in you, and you are an artist. But you've hit obstacles just because the way you look.
Oh, many obstacles. I have a story. So this is when I first graduated, right? So pretty much in the film industry, bottom of the totem pole position is PA, production assistant, right? I was just trying to get my foot in the door, just applying for whatever
whatever's open.
Whatever's open. So I had the resume. I had all my stuff on my resume. It looked good. So I get a phone interview, right? I'm on the phone. They love the interview. Cool. You come in for a face-to-face interview. Perfect. Cool. Put on my tie, long sleeve shirt, whatever. I go to the interview in Burbank, and I'm sitting in the lobby, and the producer comes out. White guy comes out. He reads my name. I was like, hey, right here. He looks at me, looks at the resume, looks at me, and his smile turned to a frown. And he said, sorry, Alex. He said, we just filled the position.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. And he's like, thank you for coming by. And I left. And I drove home. And my mom was like, how did the interview go? And I was like, I didn't get an interview. I said, the guy just looked at me and told me they filled the position.
And you knew.
I knew.
You knew exactly.
I knew.
Yeah, what happened.
When I went to the studio, everybody there didn't look like me. Mm-hmm. You know, I was the only one that, out of all the applicants sitting on the couch, I was the only one who looked like me.
I know that hurt. I know that hurt driving home. Off camera, we talked about it, and I told you my experience. I instantly knew it was her issue, not mine. But it rented space in my head for a while. That drive home for you, I know for sure it hurt.
It hurt, yeah.
How did you push it aside and be here today talking about the film that is winning awards left and right?
I just, for me, it's persistence. I've dealt with this before.
Yes.
So I knew it was going to happen. Like I knew I'm going to have to deal with these type of situations in my lifetime, in my career. So it was like, all right, cool. Dust myself off, keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
You know, get in where I fit in, you know? So then I would kind of just put my application everywhere. Like, you know, whoever picks me up, whatever, work on me, like side gigs, hustles, like side hustles, whatever. And I just kept pushing forward, you know, until I got where I needed to be financially. You know, I've worked some great jobs and I worked some shitty jobs. You know what I mean? So the shitty jobs, I worked there for a little while, you know, it served its purpose and I moved on to the next one, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like racial issues, I can't stop somebody to judging me based on my appearance. They have to talk to me. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. They have to talk to me, get to know me, you know, but I think that a lot of the relationships that I have built was all the people who treated me as an equal. And I got in there and I hustled and I proved myself and I kind of rose to the top of these different, you know, areas that I've been in with jobs that I've had, with gigs that I've had. The people that know me, they keep bringing me back. Bringing me back.
Have any of the situations motivated you to like prove them all just
every day it's a I'm gonna prove these haters wrong. I'm gonna prove these people who hurt me and prove them wrong. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't do it for them. I do it for me. You know, I do.
But it's okay to use that as fuel.
It's fuel. Definitely is fuel. You know. So, but I keep pushing myself forward. You know, very spiritual. You know, so I keep myself in prayer. Yeah. If I come on tough times, I know that those tough times will pass. Yeah. It's tough going through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely.
And it's hard to remind yourself that it's temporary.
It's temporary. Hard. It's always temporary, you know, because I can preach to you. I can preach to my friend. Yeah. But then I also have to remember those same words to myself.
Oh, yeah. We got to practice what we preach.
Exactly.
I know. I hear you. So I love that you turned all those negatives just into a positive. Even the thing that happened to you at 13, you've molded it into this movie now that is just being nominated left and right and winning awards. And it seems like you truly love it. That was your first movie, correct, that you wrote?
I mean, I've done about 5 short films. When I say short films, like 15 minutes or less, this is my first like attempt at a full length.
Full length, yeah. You know. Do you have already another project lined up that you're going to work on?
I do. So I have a script that I wrote. It's a horror film.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a horror film, but I'm gonna wait probably till 2024 to shoot it. It's just more about raising the finances. Yeah, like I can shoot another project tomorrow if I want, but it's just raising the finances to do the next project. What
would you say is the average cost to do something like this for a filmmaker?
You could do a movie for free, and you could do a movie for $1 million. It depends on. It depends on what the story's about. If you write a story, let's say you write a short film based on your warehouse here, you can shoot a whole film right here for free. Yeah. Based on the story. But if you're going to add a helicopter, you're going to speedboat, you're going to be downtown LA, you're going to, you're at the zoo, like it's going to be $1 million film.
I don't need a giraffe. That's just pushing it right now, okay?
It just depends what you write.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So it depends on what you write is what your budget is going to reflect.
Right for your budget.
Right for your budget.
You have a $3,000 budget.
Okay, well, I guess I'm writing a grocery list, Alex. Thank you for rubbing that in. Okay?
Well, that's what it is. You know,
you said it, right for your budget. That is, my budget is a grocery list. I might stop by Ross, just, maybe. But no, I love that. That's true, though. That's honest advice to filmmakers is right for your budget.
Right for your budget. Don't go beyond that, because if you go beyond that, you're not going to, what are you going to do? You know?
Yeah. So is it safe to say that this horror movie that you want to start
is written to budget?
It's rent to budget.
It's rent to budget, you know.
Oh my God. Is it rent or movie type of thing? No, I hear you. Rent to budget. But is it going to cost more, you think, than The Sun Rises?
No. It's going to be less. It's going to be less. What I want to do is shoot my next short film, the horror film, and then the next film that I do is going to be a feature film.
Okay. So, you already have these planned out.
I have it planned out, yes. So cause it's like this.
Are they in here or are they already written down somewhere?
I have my notes. I write my notes. That's written down. The thing about it, for me, it's not a race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of filmmakers out there where it's a race. Like they shoot this, they have to shoot this, have to shoot this. Like, cool. Like that's they have a rich mom and dad who can fund their next project. You know, go for it. Yeah. The money's not a problem. Then go for it. But somebody like me, you know, I work full time. I do my side hustles. You know, I'm doing my projects. Like it takes a little bit more time for me to get the next thing going.
Yeah.
You know.
But I also feel like, Alex, just sitting here with you and getting to know you and talking off camera, that even if you did have the budget, it still would take a little bit more time because you're going to want to see every little piece and tweak it to what you have here, that it comes out and it's translated on film, which I like that about you. I like that you're not a perfectionist, but you want to pull out the best in every situation.
I might be a perfectionist. I might be, but you know, it's kind of hard. You know, like I'm very like I'm hard on myself. You know what I mean? Because if I mess up in something, like I don't want to show it.
Yeah.
You know I hear you. Because when I even edited the film The Sun Rises, like there was certain scenes which I loved, and then there are certain scenes which I hated. And I'm listening to the audio, I'm looking at the color, I'm looking at the production design, I'm looking at every little element. And when I remember so I did like a family and cast and crew and family screening in Inglewood, and I was super nervous. Right, this was before the Atlanta trip. This was right before Atlanta, and I was super nervous. Because I'm like, there's all these little mistakes in the film.
That
I see. So we show the film. And then later on, people are like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't see any mistakes. I'm like, you didn't see this? You didn't see that? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. You see? Leave it alone, Alex. It's good.
Yeah.
You have to accept now that it's probably great. I haven't seen it. I've only seen bits of it, but I've seen all the nominations and awards.
Thank you.
Your feature film, do you already have a concept and idea for it?
Yeah, I do.
Is it going to be a feature horror film? Or
No. It's going to be... I mean, the title might change. I don't want to talk too much about it, but, you know...
What genre is it? It's going to be comedy?
It's going to be drama.
Romance?
It's going to be a drama, but...
Before we wrap this up, what is one message, if you could reach out to any 13-year-old boy on his bike right now, what would you tell him? I
would say that there's going to be family, there's going to be friends, there's going to be people who kind of try to direct you in your life. They're going to say, hey, I got advice for you. Always take their advice. But there's going to be something in your gut that tells you my purpose is going to be this. My purpose is going to be that. I would say that always work on your purpose. Whatever it is, it may sound crazy to you now. You want to be an astronaut, and you're like, people are like, nah, you're gonna be, you're gonna work at the shoe warehouse. Like, no, bro, like I want to be an astronaut. Take those steps. Figure out how you want to get an internship. Like, to go talk to a counselor. Tell people in a position to help you. How do I go down this path? You want to be a filmmaker, you want to be a writer, a producer, an actress, a singer, and it's in your gut. I say work on that. There's nothing wrong with having that day job. Yeah. There's nothing wrong paying your bills, because everybody got to pay bills. You don't have to be a starving artist. Pay your bills, but always work on your craft. Always work on your passion. Yeah. And I've had people in obstacles in my life where people try to redirect me and say, hey, this is better for you. Yeah. Don't tell me it was better for me. I know one day I'm going to pass away, right? And I want to pass away knowing that I pursued what the hell I wanted to do. Yeah. And I don't want to look back on my deathbed and say, damn, I could have, how come I didn't apply to USC film school? How come I didn't go to that doctor's program? How come I didn't go become a dentist? Or how come I didn't want to work at the zoo with the animals? I could have done all that stuff. Yeah. And people don't pursue that because it's either fear or, at an early age, they were brainwashed to think that they couldn't do these things.
Yeah, that part right there.
And I feel like anybody's capable of pursuing whatever they want to do. Yeah. If there's anybody who's negative in their life, they need to step away from them, walk away from them. You got to cut them off. If it's a family member or whatever, it's hard. It is hard.
It is, yeah.
But you just got to pursue what you want to do and just do it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Feed your purpose until the wheels fall off. Thank you so much, Alex, for being here. Yeah. I want you to come back again and again and again for every project you do. Exactly. This has been the Crown Peach Show. This is Alexander. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Seyum.
Seyum. And where can they follow you?
At Carnival_Pictures on IG at The Sun Rises Film on IG.
Yeah.
And at Carnival_Pictures Stills, my photography page.
That's right.
We didn't talk about my photography, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. We're going to have you back again. I know where to find you now. This has been the Crown Peach Show. Thank you guys for being here with us. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, send me an email. But if you do, kiss it. Keep it simple, sexy.
That's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do. Here goes, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Keep your iceberg, step chair, bring the heat. Classes in session, everybody take a seat.